for more! Carguen! Apunten! Consumatum est!
Hello everyone, I am Curb Swain Corpus and welcome to your personal tour of the National Museum of Jose Rizal. We all know that Jose Rizal is a man of intellectual power and artistic talent whom Filipinos honor as their national hero. He excelled at anything that he put his mind to: medicine, poetry, sketching, architecture, sociology, and many more. But let's broaden more our knowledge about him. So now let's get our tour and make our way to the first exhibit. So Jose Rizal was born in Calamba, Laguna, in the Philippines in June of 1861 and was named as Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Reyolonda. Jose's family have lived in rented property that was owned by a religious order from Dominica, which made them a family of wealthy farmers. Although the family were the descendants of Chinese immigrants, the family began using Mercado as their last name in order to hide their family background because of the sentiments against the Chinese at the time. The Rizals are considered as the largest members of the family of their time. As a typical Filipino, Jose Rizal is a product of mixed race. In his veins, the blood of both East and West is flowing. His great-grandfather was Domingo Lamco, who was a Chinese from the Fukien city of Changchao, who came to Manila in about 1690. He became a Christian and married a wealthy Chinese Christian woman in Manila named Inés de la Rosa. So Jose Rizal came from a family of 13 members. His father was Francisco Mercado, who was born in Binian, Laguna, and studied at Colegio de San Jose in Manila. While Jose Rizal's mother is Teodora Alonso, she was born in Santa Cruz, Manila, and studied in Colegio de Santa Rosa. She was a businesswoman, polite, religious, hardworking, and a good reader. She taught him how to read, pray, and encouraged him to write a poetry. Meanwhile, Jose Rizal's 9th sister was Saturnina, Narcisa, Olympia, Lucia, Maria, Concepcion, Josefa, Trinidad, and Soledad. And his only brother is named Pasiano Rizal.
Good day everyone! Welcome! Now let us stop and discover about Dr. Jose Rizal's earliest childhood. Jose Rizal was the 7th child in the family and he has a nickname of Pepe. He was first taught by his mother on how to read and pray. He was very resourceful and he used to play molding clays together with his dog named Usman. He even has a nanny to watch over him if ever he was sick. Furthermore, a sad event happened when his sister Concha died at such young age. At the age of 11, Pepe's mother, Doña Teodora, was imprisoned due to some issue involving her brother and its wife. She was imprisoned for almost 2 years and a half. The incident saddened the whole Mercado family, especially the 11 years old Pepe. It became worse after hearing that his mother was treated unkindly without proper medication and accommodation. Pepe learned how to endure things without showing everyone his vulnerability. Another event was the death of Gamburza. Filipino soldiers revolted in Cavite due to improper treatment, but that revolt was not successful and was suppressed after 2 days. After this event, Jose Rizal was accompanied by his brother Panciano to study in Manila at Ateneo de Municipal, taking philosophy and letter and surveying as an additional course. After finishing his study, he continued studying abroad for better knowledge and enhancing his skills and capabilities.
Good day, I am Yanisi de la Cruz, and now let's learn about Dr. Jose Rizal in his formal education. The first year in Manila was important into Rizal's education. On June 10, 1872, Rizal took the entrance examination at San Juan de Letrian College. He passed all the qualifying tests in Christian doctrine, reading, and arithmetic. The 6 years course leading to the degree of Bachelor of Arts was considerably tougher than the present equivalent for high school and college. Jose was admitted into Ateneo where he studied from 1872 to 1877. At the end of the school year, he won a gold medal for academic excellence and went back to Calamba, where his mother was still in prison. When summer ended, Jose returned to Manila to continue his studies and win more prizes. At the end of the school year, he did not only receive excellent grades but also a gold medal for academic excellence. Rizal's senior year in Ateneo was a memorable one. He excelled in all subjects and gained recognition as the most brilliant Atenean of his time and the pride of the Jesuits. In March 1877, he received the degree of Bachelor of Arts with the highest honors. Shortly after graduation from college, he experienced his first romance. The two met when he visited his maternal grandmother in Manila. Jose's last year of studies in Ateneo from 1876 to 1877 became more fruitful.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kyla Chloe de la Madrid, and I will be sharing with you the lived experiences of Jose Rizal during his educational stay at the University of Santo Tomas. So, Jose Rizal continued his study at the University of Santo Tomas on the year of 1877 to 1882. It was Don Francisco, the father of Rizal, who decided to send him to the University of Santo Tomas, a prestigious institution run by the Dominican order. Upon entering the university, Rizal was not certain which course of study he wanted to pursue. The Jesuit priest, who had been his former mentors, had advised him to take up farming or to join the order and be the man of the cloth. However, his taste went towards the law, the literature, or the medicine. So in the end, he decided to sign up for the philosophy and letters during his freshman year because it was his father wanted to have for him. Upon signing up for his chosen course, he needs to complete the units in the cosmology and metaphysics subject, theodicy subject, and history of philosophy subject. His report card was very impressive during his freshman year. Then after completing his first year, Rizal decided to take up medicine as his university course. This change of heart was due to two factors. Firstly, Father Ramon Pablo, director of Ateneo, had advised him to pursue the medicine course. And the second, Rizal's mother had failing eyesight and he thought he owed it to her and become a doctor and cure her condition. Unfortunately, Rizal was not happy at the UST and this reflected on his grades. There were three main factors that contributed to his unhappiness at the university. First, the Dominican professors were hostile to him. Second, Filipino students suffered discrimination. And the third one, the method of instruction at the UST was obsolete and repressive. Thus, Rizal's performance at the UST was not as excellent as his time at the Ateneo. His grades after shifting to medicine had suffered as well. Therefore, he decided to leave the University of Santo Tomas and continue his study abroad.
Good day everyone, by the way my name is John Mark Dominguez and now let's discover or learn about Rizal education in Europe. So Rizal traveled to Europe in May 1882 according to his biographer, Austin Craig Rizal. In order to obtain a better education, had to leave his country stealthily like a fugitive from justice. And his family, to save themselves from persecution, were compelled to profess ignorance of his plans and movements. His name was entered in Santo Tomas at the opening of the new term. With a face paid, and Pasiano had gone to Manila pretending to be looking for this brother and whom he had assisted out of the country. Rizal earned a licentiate in medicine at the Universidad Central de Madrid, where he also took courses in philosophy and literature. It was in Madrid that he conceived of writing No Limitangere. He also attended the University of Paris and in 1887 completed his eye specialization course at the University of Heidelberg. It was also in that year that Rizal's first novel was published in Berlin. Rizal is said to have had the ability to master various skills, subjects, and languages. Our national hero was also a doctor, farmer, naturalist. He discovered the Drago rizali, a small lizard, Apogania rizali, the Rhacophorus rizali, a frog, writer, visual artist, athlete, martial arts, fencing, and pistol shooting, musician, and social scientist. And that's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I'm Jumari Tron and I will be discuss you with the homecoming of Rizal. This picture reminds us of the return one of the heroes, Dr. Rizal, from his trip to Europe. Dr. Rizal's return to the country despite the suspension he received from his relative to not go home because his life was danger, because the peers were allegedly angry with us publishing books entitled No Limitangere. But Rizal was determined to go home, wanting to know how No Limitangere affected Filipinos and Spaniards, to operate his mother's eyes and find out why Leonora no longer were to him on his way home. He received a warm welcome from his family. Many discovered he was good in medicine, was able to stand up for medicine, but in the middle in his service of his fellow man. The Governor General of Malacanang scolded him because of the complaint of fears regarding the novel he had published. Because of that, Dr. Jose Rizal's family becomes more strict just to protect him. The reasons why he never got to swell Leonora, the fears still did not stop, because where will publish him to be imprisoned. So Dr. Jose Rizal leave the country again, which is the beginning of the second trip of Dr. Jose Rizal.
Hi, my name is Wency Carl and you can call me Wency. What happened to Rizal's exile in the Pitan? This is the Pitan during the arrival of Rizal. The Pitan is a place where had been a political-military outpost of the Spaniards in the Philippines. One of the forefronts of Spanish culture, religion, and civilization in Muslim Mindanao. Headed by a political-military commander and with a parish priest tasked with the conversion of the island into Catholicism. Rizal arrived in the Pitan on July 17, 1892 and boarded a ship bound for Cebu. The ship carried a letter from Father Pablo Pastels, superior of the Jesuit Society in the Philippines, to Father Antonio Obac, Jesuit parish priest of the Pitan. The letter states that Rizal could live in the parish once he retracted all his statement against the Spanish rule, but Rizal objected the conditions. Ricardo Carnicero, the politico-military commander of the Pitan. He was the commander during Rizal's first few days in the Pitan. He was able to know that Rizal was not a common criminal, much less a filibustero. Filibustero meaning freebooting. It came into usage to designate any irregular military adventurer. Rizal and Pastels debate on religion. In all Rizal's letter to Father Pastels, Rizal revealed his anti-Catholic ideas which he had acquired in Europe and embitterment at his persecution by the bad friars. Father Pastels tried his best to win back Rizal to the fold of Catholicism. For that reason, Father Pastels gave Rizal a copy of the Imitation of Christ, a famous Catholic book by Father Tomas A. Kepis. And Rizal, in grateful reciprocation, gave his Jesuit opponent in debate a bust of St. Paul which he had made. Although Rizal did not subscribe to Pastel's religious interpretation of Catholic dogmas, he continued to be Catholic. He hears masses at the Catholic Church of the Pitan and celebrates Christmas and other religious fiestas in the Catholic way. However, Rizal's Catholicism was the Catholicism that inquires and enlightens the Catholicism of Renan and Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. Father Francisco de Paula Sanchez, one of Rizal's professors at Ateneo. Father Sanchez is a great educator and scholar. He inspired the young Rizal to study harder and to write poetry. He is Rizal's favorite teacher, one of the 3 Jesuits instructed to persuade Rizal to discard his errors of religion. Father Francisco, the only Spanish priest to defend Rizal's Noli Me Tangere in public. He assisted Rizal in beautifying the town plaza. In Rizal's life in the Pitan, he was visited by his relatives. He built his house by the seashore of Talisay. He has 3 houses in the Pitan, taught arithmetic to young boys, and he has fruit trees and domesticated animals. Rizal is a physician in the Pitan. Most of his patients were poor, so he offered his service for free. Some of them gave him fruits, vegetables, and fish as their payment. Dr. Jose Rizal is also an ophthalmologist. In August of 1893, he operated his mother's eye. He also conducted the operation to Don Ignacio Tumaro and Don Francisco Azcaraga. Rizal held the title Expert Surveyor while he was in Ateneo. In the Pitan, he applied his knowledge of engineering by constructing a system of waterworks in order to furnish clean water to the people. Dr. Jose Rizal also started a school with 3 pupils, and in the course of time, the enrollment increased to 16 and later 21. Instead of charging them with tuition fees, he made them work in his garden, fields, and construction projects in the community. Rizal taught them reading, writing, languages like Spanish and English, geography, history, mathematics like arithmetic and geometry, industrial work, nature study, morals, and gymnastics. The two important literary works of Dr. Jose Rizal produced at the Pitan as an exile. The poems are Hymn to Talisay, intended to be a college song for the students he was teaching in Talisay. The poem was used against him in his trial. The Spanish prosecutors claimed that the lyrics of Rizal's Hymn to Talisay and Kundiman contained rebellious ideas encouraging the Filipinos to revolt. The second poem, My Retreat, this poem portrays Rizal's peaceful life in his place of rustication. He wrote the poem in response to his mother's request that Rizal should revive in his interest in poetry writings.
Hi, now let's learn more about the trial of Dr. Jose Rizal. It happened on December 6, 1896, by a Spanish military court for sedition, rebellion, and conspiracy began. Rizal was supposed to leave for Cuba after being granted permission by sympathetic Spanish governor General Ramon Blanco to serve as a military surgeon in Cuba, where there was also revolt against Spain. Despite the evidence inconclusiveness, Judge Rafael Dominguez suggested a quick trial, which was allowed by Governor and Judge Advocate General Nicolas de la Peña. The latter proposed a military court trial, directed the investigating officer to begin confiscation proceeding of at least ₱1,000,000. Taviel de Andrade, for the defense, argued that the judges should not be swayed by the powerful stream of prejudice created by the insurgency. Taviel de Andrade is the lawyer of Jose Rizal and younger brother of his bodyguard. Rizal chose him, having a friend's brother as his lawyer gives him a lot of confidence. The situation caught Taviel's curiosity, and he wanted to investigate and appreciate the accused's point of view. In short time, Taviel and Rizal became friends easily and eventually captured in others' sympathy. Taviel de Andrade went on to say that prosecution witnesses were biased towards Rizal, since they were co-accused in the same crime and had been caught when the Katipunan was found. They had no choice but to depict Rizal as the revolution-only instigator and promoter to save their lives. Taviel stated that Jose Rizal's guilt had not been proven legally. Therefore, they should restore the rights of Jose Rizal in the name of justice. In hostile courtroom, the excellent argument was considered ineffective. Rizal was allowed to defend himself. He brought it to the court's attention that the Liga had perished soon after he formed due to his imprisonment to the Pitan, in that it had been restored without his knowledge. Rizal demonstrated that the Liga did not support revolutionist goals by demonstrating that they ignored it and formed the Katipunan. In other words, if the Liga had intended to bring the revolution, the revolutionaries would not have been removed the society in the favor of Katipunan. After Dr. Jose Rizal's defense, he was sent back to cell to await the verdict for him. The court's finding that in decision were sent Judge Advocate General Nicolas de la Peña that afternoon, who forwarded it to Governor Camilo de Pulaheva for approval that evening. Since the following day was Sunday, the governor's acceptance of the verdict, and as a result, the issue of the order for Rizal's execution were postponed until Monday.
Hi, I'm Ralph Edgar C. Francisquete. I'm a computer engineering, and I'm pleased to discuss with you the last few days of Dr. Jose Rizal. On November 3, 1896, Rizal returned to the Philippines, and for the second time, he was imprisoned at Fort Santiago. On the day of December 26, 1896, Dr. Jose Rizal was sentenced to death because he was accused of starting a rebellion against the Spaniards. On December 29, in his last hours in prison, Rizal was visited by several priests, including Father Fora, his family, including his mother Teodora, and two sisters. He also wrote a poem, Mu Ultimo Adios, which it concealed in alcohol burner. He also wrote a letter for his friend Ferdinand Blumentritt, and the letter was, "When you receive this letter, I shall be dead by then. Tomorrow at 7, and I'll be shot, but I am innocent of crime of rebellion. I'm going to die with a tranquil conscience." In his last letter, addressed to Ponciano Rizal, he asked his brother to ask his father for forgiveness for all the pain he had caused him. Later that day, Jose Rizal was brought to Bagumbayan or Luneta Park for his execution.
Now, let us all discover the story behind Dr. Rizal's execution in Burial. Dr. Rizal was incarcerated in Fort Santiago in October and executed on December 30, 1896 at Bagumbayan Field in Manila. Dr. Rizal was dressed in black from head to foot and walked out his cell on the day of his execution, his arms loosely bound elbow to elbow. He was executed for the crime of rebellion by firing squad by the Spanish colonial government. The firing squad was composed of Filipinos who were members of regular army. He requested to be shot in front, for he was not a traitor, but it wasn't granted. And he was the one who requested to be shot in front. He tried to turn left, then fell. Before his execution, he wrote a letter for his best friend and confidant, Professor Ferdinand Blumentritt, saying, "Tomorrow at 7, I will be shot, but I am innocent for the crime of rebellion. I am going to die with a tranquil conscience." Narcisa, the sister of Dr. Rizal, discovered where her brother's body was secretly buried at Old and Uspaco Cemetery. He was transferred to the iconic Rizal Monument in Luneta Park, former Bagumbayan Field, in 1898 under American rule. The ashes have been put in an urn of Philippine woods, carved by the skillful hands of Dr. Rizal's constructor in carving, and finally deposited in what will be the finest of Manila's monument. Dr. Rizal was the first writer who died for the country, fighting for the basic human rights of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, claiming freedom of thought and expression. He proudly offered his life as a supreme sacrifice for his country, so that the wisdom of his example would serve as an inspiration to his fellow men.
To summarize it all, Dr. Jose Protasio Rizal was born in the town of Calamba, Laguna on June 19, 1861. He is the seventh among the 11 children of Francisco Mercado and Eudora Alonso. With his mother as his first teacher, he began his early education at home and continued in Biñan, Laguna. He entered Ateneo Municipal School in 1872 and obtained a bachelor's degree with highest honors in 1876. Then, he studied medicine at the University of Santo Tomas but had to stop because he felt that the Filipino students were being discriminated by their Dominican tutors. Later on, he went to Madrid at Universidad Central de Madrid, and in 1885, at the age of 24, he finished his course in philosophy and letters. Rizal was a prolific writer and was anti-violence. He rather fight using his pen than his mic. Rizal's two books, namely Noli Me Tangere, or Touch Me Not, and El Filibusterismo, or The Rebel, exposed the cruelties of the Spanish friars in the Philippines, the defects of the Spanish administration, and the vices of the clergy. These books told about the oppression of the Spanish colonial rule. These two books made Rizal as a markman to the Spanish friars. On July 6, 1892, he was imprisoned in Fort Santiago on the charge of instigating unrest against Spain. He was exiled to the Pitan in northwestern Mindanao. In 1896, he asked Governor Ramon Blanco to send him to Cuba, but instead, he was brought back to Manila and jailed for the second time in Fort Santiago. On December 26, 1896, after a trial, Rizal was sentenced to die. He was convicted of rebellion, sedition, and of forming of illegal association. On the eve of his execution while confined in Fort Santiago, Rizal wrote a poem, Mi Ultimo Adios, or My Last Farewell. He was executed on December 30, 1896 at the age of 35 by a firing squad at Bagumbayan, now known as Luneta Park in Manila. Jose Rizal was a man of many accomplishments, a linguist, novelist, poet, scientist, doctor, a painter, an educator, and a visionary. He left his people his greatest patriotic poem, Mi Ultimo Adios, to serve as an inspiration for the next generations.